fliko.
Wow! I guess it's that time. I guess it's that time. Once again, today, we start the journey to $15,000. I'm giving away 10 plugins to the chat. Everybody's getting gifts today. Would you like to know what your sample is for today? This is your sample.
No way.
My grandma was a crackhead, so my mom was a crack baby. So what does that make me? A crack baby's baby! I want crack! I like hard drugs. I like heroin. I need dope. I like booger sugar and yo dysphoria. Let me do a line off your ass. Oh, it's chaos.
All right, I'll give you all an hour and 10 minutes. This is it. 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 This could actually change the game for somebody. Understand? It's not just the money. It's everybody in the chat talking about that person. Everybody subscribing to that person. Everybody in here supporting whoever that winner is. Also, I would like to say thank you to obviously one of my favorite companies, regardless of them showing support and love to the Discord. But we wouldn't be able to do today without Yerba Mate. Please make a little bit of noise for a company that you know I've been rocking with for a very long time. Sponsored by Yerb. We are sponsored by Yerba Mate. Oh, baby. We are on the way to give somebody $15,000. Unfortunately, 3 people up, and you guys didn't get to vote on 3 beats. Those 3 beats are MALCOM HAWTHORN, GRANTLAPOINTE, and NOTCHARLES. These are the people who made it in. These are the 20 people who got this shit correct and have won in the past and did it the way we asked them to do it. So please, we're gonna put a little bit of faith in the chat. Top 5, no matter what the standing is today, you are automatically included into the finals. Top 5 in the popular vote, you are going to the finals automatically. KNOWLESS, His Property, TAHO, ARDMORE, SETHGOOT. You are automatically going to the finals. We'll see you next Saturday, no matter what your beat sounds like. Enough delaying, we gotta start with Dan. 25 votes. It's a 2,500% increase for Dan in the votes. Let's give it a shot.
No way. 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 No way.
Dan, you are going to the finals next week. Dan, you are automatically included in the finals. Dan, you are going to the finals next week. You are automatically included in the finals, Dan, no matter what happens today. I don't know what the that beat was, but Dan, we're going to see you next week, buddy. Next up, Foster Makes Music. with no. Someone in the chat said Cole's Cash in the first 2 seconds, and I don't know if that's what set me down a path in my brain, but you really got to pull out some heat to make a like clav with a wah-wah hot in 2022. You really got to pull out some heat. It's got to be like the Heart Part 5. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to make that instrument with that sound cool. The thing that could have saved you is how you use that sample maybe, and the sample didn't feel like it was working together with the beat at all. The sample was just like pitched up and low in volume and felt like out of key and rhythm and didn't work together with all the chords and everything. I gotta be honest, Dan's beat was making me feel more in my chest.
No way.
I never thought I'd say this, but Dan, you're moving up a spot. Dan, you're number 19. Let's just keep this going. Next up is Sue. Start positive. Let's just start with positive thing. I like how slow it is, and obviously telling someone using a slow tempo isn't a talent, but I like that it moves so slow and it drags in an interesting way, and I really like the brush percussion that you have, and I like a lot of things about the drum sounds you're picking, and I really just even like that just real slow drag kind of pattern. But the movement of the chords wasn't doing much for me. The actual feelings of the chords weren't doing much for me. It just felt like a lot of chords. They didn't all feel like they were necessarily just like the most boring like diatonic chords in the key, but they didn't really make me feel too much otherwise. I will say I liked the 8-bit little shitty vocal sample against the kind of live piano with the slow like drum thing. I do think there was an idea in there somewhere. What's crazy about this is Dan is still kind of just making me feel something that these other beats aren't.
No way.
But we're just going to keep moving up. Dan is kind of in first place at the moment. Let's keep going. JONNYDOOBS up next with 60 votes from the chat.
I love you, John.
My grandma was a crackhead. My mom was a crack baby.
Here we go.
My grandma was a crackhead. My mom was a crack baby. My grandma was a crackhead. My mom was a crack baby.
Okay.
My grandma was a crackhead. My mom was a crack baby. My grandma,
Hey, that shit is amazing. I gotta be honest, that one's kind of amazing. Is it a good beat? No, but it makes me feel excited.
I love you, John.
The fact that there's $15,000 on the line and this is what you're submitting, you like to live life on the edge, and I just respect that. Next up, CHRRRYBLU. Let's get it.
You hold me till I'm gone. Give me when I run. Save me all the while.
fact that you sang on that and put that together in 1 hour is pretty wild. But overall, I feel like you might have just dropped your single in a beat battle. So where is the sample? It'd be cooler if you sang about being a crack baby's baby or whatever the sample said. Like that, maybe you could have worked that in there. That's a different way of sampling. Like, you know what I mean? You're sampling the lyrical content, still a sample. But I think we're going to leave you right there for right now. JONNYDOOBS still in first place out of this group. Let's go up. Next is SOLTI. You thought I was going to give you 15K? You thought I was going to give you $15,000 for this? Dan said, I hope y'all are doing okay. Dan, after hearing your beat, we're hoping you're okay, pal. This sounds like a loading screen in 8 Mile video game. Like when a guy who's like 48 plus tells you he's been making beats and says, you want to hear some shit I've been working on? It's like, yo, you got a 23-year-old son. I don't know if those beats, I don't know if those are for me. I feel like if you hear this beat right off the top and you love how this beat sounds, you probably wear your hat like this a lot of the time. You know what I mean? I feel like if you hear this beat straight off the bat and you're like, I love this beat, you probably be doing this kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, or even like, how many pictures you got like this? Be honest. I know you got at least one picture like this in an alley next to some graffiti. I can guarantee you whatever sample pack those drum sounds came from has a rose growing out of concrete on the front of it with like a king's crown. Bro, now next up we have the one, the only, someone who's made waves in this community in more ways than one. BP Bananas. I got high hopes. Let's see what happens. Yes! 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 Hold on. The funniest part about BP Bananas is all his beats sound like Mario Kart, but whenever you talk to him, he's just like so pissed off. Every time you talk to BP Bananas, like, yeah, what's up? All right, I guess I can make a breakdown. I don't really have time. I'm busy with school. Like, it's literally like he talks to you like Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, this is the kind of shit I needed for today. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? If that won $15,000, I would be so happy. You have to think about how funny this is. You're not understanding how funny this is. The fact that someone opened up the door to their studio, they walked in and they went like this. Man, what kind of beat should I make today? And then they stretched out their hands and then they played this. Like, when they were like, oh yeah, I might just go to the studio and cook up today. And imagine your homie being like, yo, what'd you cook up? You got to think about this. The only 2 people that would rap on this, or 3 people, are Z-Loopers, Zach Fox, and Babytron. Yeah, that's BP Bananas. You're going to the finals. I don't know what to tell you. You're in the finals. Automatically finals. We'll see you next Saturday, BP Bananas. You are automatically included in the finals. I don't care what anybody says. Next up is Smith and Good. 28 seconds. A lot of this is really cool, but why is it half the length? Someone said, my girl said that to me once. Okay. Gotta be honest. We're giving you 1 minute to show your stuff, and you're not even using half that time. I'm very disappointed. I am taking points off for that. The drums in this and some of the sound choice in this are really cool. I like how weird some of the chords are and some of the movement of it. I like how sloppy it is in a cool way, but it doesn't go anywhere. Smith and Good, I like the work there, but 28 seconds, not even having the ability to loop it or resolve some things that are going on in there musically, or add a lead in somewhere, or do a little bit more sample usage on top of the beat you built. I think there's so many other things you could have done there, and I think that's not just me saying that, that's obvious. Let's keep going. Oi Vagrant up next. Amazing. Really good. Trill Season said that chop ain't it. Trill Season, you've been submitting to the battles for... Oh, looks like none of your beats were it. I don't see you in the battle anywhere. Let's have respect for the people in the battle today. Gotta be honest, I really like that a lot. As far as like all funny stuff aside, all quirky stuff aside, straight off the bat, the swing of it, the feel of it, I do like the sample chop. I like just how quirky and kind of off it is. I like the delay on it. There's a lot of things. You know, it's tough. You never know what you're gonna get to work with in these battles. You only get an hour. But Oi Vagrant, one thing about every beat from you that we've heard, and it's hard for me to remember every battle, but I remember the battle that you won. Your swing is something that is just part of your music, and the way your stuff moves and the feel of your music, I have a feeling, is in every beat that you make. So even on an off day or a beat that's not your favorite, or you don't get that much time to make, you always have such great feel to your music. And I kind of assume it's going to be the same when it comes to your sound choices and it comes to chords you pick and samples that you chop and this and that. Whenever you take that much care to swing your drums and to not quantize things and to play things in yourself and to leave feel, I feel like that is something that you consider when it comes to your sound choices being, you know what I mean, pertinent to the kind of thing you're making, or the sample chop being something that is quirky and cool and interesting. I don't think someone who makes really cool drums and really swung, interesting percussion normally picks terrible other sounds. I feel like even on the beats you're not the most stoked on, Oi Vagrant, you always have a feeling to your music that is very much you, and that's something that I wouldn't be able to tell you if this was your first battle. But luckily, I've heard your music before, and I think it shines through even in this one. You saw my face from the first second. Mr. Carmack said it's his favorite one of the day so far, so for that reason alone, you're staying at number 1. Let's keep it going. EY1, let's keep going. Wow. Whoa. Fire. You ever hear a beat so good you just want to be friends with the person? That beat says so much about you. And it's saying all very nice things. Oh my goodness. How is that not in the top 10? Maybe now it is. Oh my goodness. I just had nothing but good things to say about that. I couldn't say more good things about that beat if I wanted to. I would listen to that in my free time. You guys know J. Paul's like my favorite artist of all time. It's making me feel like Bait Ones. It's not just those harmonies or how swung the drums are or the fact that it's like a big distorted bass sound. A lot of things about that are just so creative. I love the bounce at the start. I love the bounce at the end. There's just something about the feeling of that. That's fucking damn near a 10 out of 10 for me. I love that. We're going to keep going. Next up, QUINCYSIMPS. Let's get it. Woo. It's really fucking cool. I gotta be honest with you, Quincy. I'm moving you down only one spot, but really, really, really cool. Wild. Just so creative, such cool sounds, so full. The mixing is so interesting. I love the spin backs. I love the volume automation. Like, I can't really tell you shit, Quincy. It feels like you have your own thing going on, but what I would say, just on a very vague, constructive critique, would be a melody in that second half after that spin back. I feel like would have made it just undisputable. Just some kind of lead melody, some kind of lead vocal thing, some kind of just phrase in the front of those chords and those drums in that second half, or maybe in the first half. I don't know. I don't need to tell you how to be creative, clearly, but I would have loved to see just a building on the arrangement as far as things starting to come in what might be a B section or what might be an evolved version of the start. I know you didn't have much time. I get it, but that's the kind of shit I'm looking for. That's creativity. All right, next up is MERCKFIGS. This is Mark. This is a very recent beat battle winner. Show some love to Mark in the chat. Let's see what the deal is.
MERCKFIGS.
a lot of things about this beat. I love the harmony of it. I love the lead sound. I love the swing of it. I love the feel of it. I like the fact that it's got this kind of stereo out of phase thing, but not for the entire time. I wish at some point you had pulled it back into the center, like spectrally. It felt like the bottom was pulled out. It felt like you could only hear the far left, the far right of the beat, and it was a really cool effect. I think it would have shown a lot of just production technique. Like it would have just shown a lot of fucking, I don't know, like foresight to have given people the option in a way. Like, this is what the beat sounds like normally. This is what it sounds like spread. You know what I mean? This is what the majority of the beat felt like. And then at the last second, you kind of, someone's ingenuity. That might be the word I'm looking for. I feel like that width took away from what's going on with the bass, what's going on with the lower frequencies and all your keys and everything. Like the real pocket of the drums and stuff is harder to pick up on when everything feels so spread and so thin, but it's a really cool feeling at the same time. Like I would love it if like a piece of a song felt exactly like that, and then you felt everything kind of come back in the middle and feel strong. But either way, impressive, Mark. I will have to say, you're up against some steep fucking competition right now, so I'm going to put you right there. Next up, number 8 in the popular vote with 120 votes. ELMAKOMAYN, let's get it. It feels like an outro to like a bad late 80s TV show or something. The mix of it was very muddy. It was hard to hear what was kind of going on from a drum perspective. Like oh yeah, I don't know. It didn't add to it for me. Maybe the scratching might have been better if it was something else was getting scratched. Oh yeah, I don't know. It didn't pull my nostalgia to a good place. Let's just say, with the competition right now, this beat was just a little bit better.
No way.
Okay, we're going to keep going. Up next is Placebo Music at number 7, 121 votes. Okay, let him cook. Why did you let him cook? Why did you let him cook?
I'm out of here. I'm about to go do.
That sounded like they let Monty do the theme song for Fat Albert, but he only got like 6 minutes into the beat. There was parts of it that were genius, and then there was parts of it I was like, they really do feel like Fat Albert, though. That is so true. And I'm Fat Albert. Can't you just see a guy like this? Like a a big fat cartoon character. Hey, hey, hey. You know what I mean? I'm Fat Albert. It just had like, you gotta walk like a penguin. You know what I mean? Someone says it sounds like you press play on a D'Angelo song and then you threw it down a flight of stairs. That is so true. It sounds like you're in the middle of a hallway and someone's playing Peter Gabriel in one room and Voodoo in another room, and you right in the middle of both, like, you're right in the middle of both doors. You're like, is that coming from this side or this side? It's the thing. I think whenever you go real wild with the chops being from all different types of sounds and different samples and different unique things, and the swing is all over the place, and you try to do kind of quirky chord change, all it takes is one thing falling out of place and everything feels too left, or, you know what I mean, far from center. Like, I think everything in this beat was like quirky and fun and weird, so nothing felt quirky or fun or weird. It all just felt like it was a little bit out of place. But I do think the idea is there, and I think you were taking risks and the creativity is there. And it doesn't mean when you get to make whatever you want to make, you don't make great beats. But that one beat is putting you right here. Up next, TODDCHAMP. Todd, you never have a problem with drums. You never have a problem with changes and making a great piano sound or having interesting percussion stuff. That's not something you ever struggle with. I might know your production better than everybody else in this battle, to be honest, because I've watched so much of your production now. That doesn't necessarily help you in this battle because I'm so familiar with what you're doing that I know there's a little hybrid keys on this, and I took that hi-hat that's next to my fucking desk, and I played a little bit of these hi-hat samples, and then I processed that with a little bit of the Al Hug RC. I've seen all your damn videos, so I kind of like, whenever I'm hearing your beats now, I'm like, oh, Todd's reaching for this keyboard sound he loves. I know Todd just got this new contact bank, so he's not using the Soft Labs pianos he used to use. Now that's you see what I mean? I know too much. I know too much, Todd. But overall, the reason that you stood out to begin with, and the reason that people like watching your content and watching how you make your beats, is because all of them, no matter what they are, have such a full feeling to them. And they have, you know what I mean, that you're never wanting like, oh, there's not enough going on with the drums, the chord change is boring. There's always a great feeling to your beats. One thing I will say though is the sample usage in this beat is weak to me. Not that you didn't use it in key and it doesn't fit with the beat. It does all of that, but it's so far in the background and it's not processed very interesting. It kind of just feels like a percussion thing or like this added little background texture more so than those chords and the drums and things like that were built around this really weird sample that you heard a melody in, or you heard a way to uplift that sample. The thing I love so much about something like EY1, who's right here, the sample is so in the front. I think those vocals in the background might be the sample also, but the sample is like the focal thing. And they made the sample feel like it's a cool vocal. Like when you hear that sample in the beginning of that beat, you're like, holy shit, I want to put that in a beat. When before it was like a funny meme. It was like someone screaming about being a crack baby's baby. They made it recontextualize in your brain. That's the whole point of my album. The point of my album is if you listen to a song that says, "Do you still think of me?" and you're thinking about your ex, it feels one way in your heart. If you say, "Do you still think of me?" and it's about a parent who doesn't give a fuck about you, it hurts a lot deeper. It's the same lyric, but if you can make someone think about a lyric a different way, if you can make someone hear a sample they've heard 100 times and feel a new way about that sample, that's the genius of people who win in these battles. Okay, the next 5 people I'm playing, no matter what happens, the next 5 people are going to the finals. Top 5 is all safe. You guys are all going to the finals next week. Doesn't matter what we think about these beats, but let's play them anyway. 154 votes. Seth Groot, let's go. Appreciate the fact that there's live horns on there. I don't mind the drum break. Sample usage is cool, but I don't know. That ain't a $15,000 beat to me. The idea or the harmony of it or even the horn playing that made me like lose my shit. It was just impressive to hear that someone made that with a live horn more than anything else. Let's keep going. Shout out all our musicians out here. I know some people are musicians first, making beats second. We appreciate the fact. Ardmore, 156 votes. Let's get it.
So good. Sunshine makes it all right. Baby, baby. Let me do a line of your ass.
More than anything else, the amount of different sections and different sounds and different pieces of that beat are what make it a W. That outro is some of the best shit in the whole beat. You did what I was talking about. You made the sample work really well. It's right in the front. I like that lead in the second half. I love that weird, like, wavy bass sound. Your drums are always hard. I remember your drums always being fire, Ardmore. Well laid out and well arranged, and everything was really clear mix-wise. And I love the fact that you take the time to do an outro like that with a different cool sound and still have the sample included in it. That you followed the prompt really, really, really well. For 1 hour, definitely impressive. Let's keep going. Top 10, Tahoe, 162 votes. Let's keep going. And Doom. that beat, if you listen to MF Doom, that beat is just gonna feel different for you. I gotta be honest. It's the most Doom sounding shit ever. When I say Doom, I mean like his self-produced stuff. I have a box set called Special Herbs, and it's like 9 vinyls, 10 vinyls. The beat, like that sounds like it's on there. It feels like it would be a great Doom song going into the top 3, Tahoe. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. It makes me feel that feeling. It makes me feel like Doom. It makes me feel like George Duke sampled by Doom with a drum break that doesn't fit, but it's good. His property is up next. Is that Izumi? Izumi had one of the most impressive wins of the whole year in the beat battle. If you're hating in the chat, you look stupid. There's people in the chat talking about this or that with that beat. We just listened to 20 beats from some of the best producers that we found around the world, and a lot of people aren't coming within miles of that beat. Normally, we start with all positive things. I'm gonna start with the non-positive things first. I'm gonna start with my critical side because this is gonna be 95% me just saying how talented Izumi is and how impressive that is to make that in 1 hour. But critically, I'll start with this. Much like TODDCHAMP, Izumi is someone who's won very recently, had a really, really big win that kind of blew everybody away, and then made a beat breakdown. And we got to see how they make their music. I've heard Izumi, by the way, is also maybe not just one singular person who identifies as a woman. There might be multiple people. That's all okay. That's all allowed. Production duos have always been allowed. People working with artists or collabing has always been allowed. But they said it's just me. Okay, it is just one person. Okay, it's one person. It's one person. But either way, I don't know. People remember last time people were saying it was multiple people. They were saying people will say anything sometimes when it's a woman producer and they're winning. They'll try to make it into 10 things, but they are one person. Making that in 1 hour is extremely difficult. And we've seen how they make music in the past because they did a beat breakdown. They showed us some of their techniques, how they do that thing on the master where everything gets really wide and really reverbed and then how it comes back close. How they do their MIDI programming where they spell out chords and then kind of draw melodies in between in the MIDI and this and that. We've seen a lot of techniques from Izumi. And one thing about Izumi's production is some people can say that it's stylistic and this is just how their music sounds. And some people can say they're using the same tricks over and over. And I would say if you're saying that second statement, it's a little bit of a hating perspective. But I will say what's impressive about this are the same things that were impressive last time. So Izumi doing that reverb fade out and fade in at the intro and outro, it doesn't hit as hard this time because they did that the first time and we all talked about it and da-da-da-da-da. A lot of the melody feelings and the quirky little like chord hits, as well as the types of percussion and drum sounds that are getting used, the little like the female laugh that's halfway through. A lot of these things are stylistic of stuff that I've heard on Izumi's page, what Izumi won with in the past battle. That's a style. That's having a style. But I do think sometimes having a style and using similar tempos, similar techniques, similar sound choices too many times, it starts to fatigue the average listener or the average person. They start to think, oh, this beat is that beat. Or this beat just sounds just like that other beat. Or this beat feels like you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Izumi, I can hear deeper than that. I can hear that this is not you recreating the same things, but having the insight I have, having listened to your music before and knowing a little bit more about how you make it, I do think, same with TODDCHAMP, I would push you even harder on what I expect out of the processing of the sample, the creativity in the melodies, things you're putting on your master besides just that small room reverb trick. I'd love to see you go even farther because this doesn't exemplify too many more production techniques or stylistic choices than the other beat I heard from you. In this battle against everything else, it shows why you're one of the best. You've only been producing for 2 years. I mean, the popular vote says it without me saying anything. Hundreds of people said today that was the most impressive. This person's only been producing for about 2 years. KNOWLESS, first place in the popular vote.
I like heroin, I need dope, 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 I like the sugar, and your hysteria, let me do a line.
It's really good. It's really good. Hold on, it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. I like this a lot. I gotta be honest, I like this a lot.
I like heroin, I need dope, 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 I like the sugar, and your hysteria, let me do a line in your ass, I like the sugar, and your hysteria, let me do a line in your ass.
I'm gonna go with the chat and leave that in first place for today. That's first place. I absolutely love it. The flip is so good. The mix is so good. It's so simple, but it's so fun and it stays interesting the whole time. I got nothing but good things to say.
I like heroin, I need dope, 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 I need dope.
Okay, so as of right now, this is the top 10. This is your top 10 plus Dan. Now we are going to listen to the stragglers. We are now going to figure out if any of these people made a beat hard enough to push someone out of the top 10. First up, MALCOM HAWTHORN. MALCOM, a lot of really impressive stuff in there. Really impressive melodies, really impressive playing, really impressive chords as far as a lot of the harmonic stuff goes. The drums sounded like you had a drummer play along to this who hadn't fully learned the song yet. Really, really impressive on the other side though. The chords you're playing and the melodies you're playing and the feeling of everything else is really, 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 really good. Next up, GRANTLAPOINTE. Apparently Grant's Ableton shut down 40 minutes in. Grant had to remake the beat, still missed it by a few seconds. But we're gonna give Grant a shot. Let's give it a shot. Grant.
sugar, and low mystery. I like heroin, I need dope. I like milk and sugar, and low mystery.
I'm out of here. I'm about to go do drugs.
We'll say I like this beat better than Seth's beat, but I also like Merc's beat better. I'm reserving you right now, Grant. You're in the reserves. You're in the reserves. You're not out of it. You're not into it. You're in the reserves right now. This is going to be the last beat we play today. Let's see what Charles came with, and then we'll figure out the order of who's going to next week. Okay. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. KNOWLESS, you are going to the finals. AI, you are going to the finals. IZUMI, you are going to the finals. Quincy, you are going to the finals. TAHO, you are going to the finals. OYVAGRANT, you are going to the finals. ARDMORE, you are going to the finals. TODDCHAMP, you are going to the finals. BP Bananas, you are going to the finals. MERCKFIGS, you are going to the finals. GRANTLAPOINTE, you are going to the finals. Not Charles, you are going to the finals. Dan, you are going to the finals. Next week will be a top 13. Every single one of you is going to the finals. I will see you next Saturday. One of you will win $15,000 in cash. I will pick one random person throughout this week to go on the final Beat Battle stream. I'm going to pick a random person out of my chat. So you need to be in any one of my streams between today and next week. Whether I stream tonight, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on a random stream, on a random day next week, I will pick someone out of the chat based on a donation, based on them sending something funny in the chat, based on a thing I see. Who knows? But I will pick one random person to participate.